The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros, Turki Alalshikh is currently in control of every major promotional company except one. We're going to take a look at development. It's not really recent. Of course, this happened during the week, but you know, we record on Sunday. So Turki Alalshikh continues to make his mark in the sport of boxing with his Riyadh season officially inking partnership agreements with both Top Rank and Golden Boy to take on the U.S. market. Is PBC next? So now Turki Alalshikh has partnership deals with Top Rank, Golden Boy, Queensberry Promotions, Matchroom, and of course that would also mean that he inherits network deals with ESPN, DAZN, and all of their affiliates. So as you see, Turki Alalshikh is on his way to controlling the sport of boxing. And Trill Dollar Bill, what is your reaction to every promotional basically signing a partnership deal with Turki Alalshikh? And why do you think PBC is the one? And do you think PBC will eventually end up signing with a partnership deal with Turki Alalshikh?
No one man should have all this power. Yo, I've been saying this since from the beginning. First, when everybody was talking, it's cool that he's a fan of the sport and that he got some bread and make a couple of fights happen. But listen, I'm not a fan of him being in control of anything. Next thing you know, he's going to start trying to switch up and do the wardrobes for the guys and everything. Nipple tassels and all the fighters. I'm not messing with Turki Alalshikh, man. Listen. You want to put on some fights that we want to see and pay these fighters? I'm all for it. But giving this guy control and he's not like he don't even. I don't know. It's like, all right. You know how we used to be like in the hood? It's nothing worse than a sucker with money, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then they could do dangerous stuff, like and stuff that they would normally wouldn't do. You know what I mean? I just think is the same thing applies with Turki Alalshikh. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I appreciate him being a fan of the sport that I love, and I appreciate him trying to make certain fights that the fans want to see. But him personally and him putting him in control of anything, I'm not with it. If he want to bank some stuff and be a financial banker, but having control and say on what goes on, not him, not this guy.
It's funny you said that because what I immediately had a flashback to growing up, growing up without money, growing up struggling, growing up on government assistance. Like you would go to school and there would always be like that kid who had all the gear and had everything. Now, you get older, you find out like the parents were probably on all that stuff too. But the point is, it was like there's nothing worse than a corny kid who has all the gear and doesn't know how to rock it. It's like, why are you rocking it like that? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? Like look at what you're doing to those kicks. Do you even know what those kicks are? It would just be. And look, Turki Alalshikh is a fan of boxing. He was born into money, so he inherited money, and he's looking to invest the money into boxing. I'm okay with that. Originally, what was reported was Turki Alalshikh was trying to purchase all of the promotional companies. And as I stated, I'm not sure if it was on Boxing Bros or on my channel, but what I stated was I am against Turki Alalshikh purchasing all the promotional companies and being the head of boxing, like sitting at the table where he makes all the decisions. And there's one who has experience with building superstars, because it's one thing to inherit boxing in the current state it's in, but who's going to build the next generation and who's going to make sure that boxing stays alive? There's a certain type of knowledge that comes with building, and that's where guys like Frank Warren, Bob Arum are invaluable. I would say Eddie, but I think he's a horrible matchmaker. So I can see people right now saying, "No, he's a hater." I talk about Turki Alalshikh. I talk about Frank Warren. I talk about every promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, but somehow I just decided to zero in and hate on Eddie. No, you're sensitive about Eddie. Therein lies the difference. I'm an equal opportunity truth teller for everyone, in my opinion. But if you get butthurt when I talk about one specific individual, when I only do that to one specific individual, that's you being extra sensitive about when I talk about a specific individual. In my opinion,
watch your mouth, boy.
I have some respect, boy.
Have some respect, boy.
You couldn't hold his jock strap. You couldn't inherit millions and have your daddy pass it all down to you.
You couldn't inherit all that millions from
You would have blew all the money. You would have blew billions.
You
You would have created $1 billion in deficit. Oh no, that's what Eddie did. My bad. All right. So, anyways, like for real though, all promoters are snakes. We knew that growing up. We know that now. Like, yeah, there may be one snake you can stomach more than the other. Like, there may be pause. That sounded a little weird. There may be more snakes. Like, you feel like their venom is less dangerous. Like, you may survive the bite from that snake as compared to the other snake, but they're all snakes. Back in the days, no one got mad when you called Don King a snake. No one got mad. No one got mad if you. No one gets mad if you call Al Heyman a snake. No one gets mad if you call Bob a snake. No one gets mad if you call Oscar a snake. Why do you get mad if someone calls Eddie Hearn a snake? Let me run that back for you. No one gets mad when you call Al Heyman a snake. No one gets mad when you call Don King a snake. No one gets mad when you call Oscar De La Hoya a snake. No one gets mad when you call Bob Arum a snake. Why do people get mad when you call Eddie Hearn a snake? That's just what I want to know. They're all snakes, bro. And if you can't see that, again, I'm not the person who's being different. You are viewing one person different. So anyways, getting back to this point. I don't want Turki Alalshikh in control of boxing. I don't think one man in control of boxing is a good thing. Just like with UFC, Dana White, he's able to pay very low wages because all the fighters are under his control. So now he's able to take them. So yeah, it starts like that in the beginning, right? It's almost like some banks who take advantage of elderly people who don't have lawyers to review contracts. And I'm going to tell you how. They'll say, oh, we'll allow you to refinance your mortgage, right? We'll allow you to do that. So in the beginning, it starts off with really great rates so that someone is saving money. So they think, oh, this was a great, but in the end, the rates and the interest and things start to pick up if you don't know what you're doing. And then you can't keep up with the payments and you end up losing a lot of equity in your home to the banks. So this is what I'm saying. Turki Alalshikh may be starting off in the beginning, hitting off all the bread, doing all this. But once you put boxing into his hands and you give him all the control of boxing, you never know if he's going to start lowering this. And he's going to start, once he controls everything, what's stopping him? And so that's why I didn't want the promotional companies to sell to Turki Alalshikh. Now they said they entered some partnership agreement. Hopefully it's a short-term partnership agreement, maybe like 2 years, 3 years. But if it's a long partnership agreement, now what you have done is essentially made Turki Alalshikh the most powerful man in boxing. Now, for those of you who brag about how well certain companies are doing, like Matchroom, right, or Queensberry, or if all these companies are doing so well, why would you relinquish so much power to one man simply for him to bankroll your operation? If you already got bread, you're not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to allow another man to give me $500 a month, but he gets to come in my house and tell my family how to live. It's like every month I'm going to give you $500, but I get to come in and tell you what you're going to eat for the week, what you watch for the week. I'm not, if I don't need the 500, why would I agree to that?
And I get to rub your children on the head.
I get to hold your wife's hand, but I have the money and I can do a little more with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying. Like, why would I let this man into my home if I don't need the money? This is how you guys are being bamboozled and fooled because you hear these numbers and you hear all this stuff and you see these false reports and you act like you're in the room looking at people's financial statements. The reality is no man lets another man into his home, period. But if you do that, you must need some help. Think about it. Well, yo, back in the days, you ain't gonna ask no other man to pay your bills, to do this, to do that. Now you see Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn standing beside Turki Alalshikh, holding both their hands, smiling like, "Hey, dog, hey, what's up, man? I'm crossing the beat." Now you see Frank Warren.
Turki Alalshikh, man. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Bro.
He was just laying in this big old, what is it? What's the biggest bed you can get? He had like
a California King, I think.
He had 5 California Kings put together, and he's just laying on his bed, and he was watching a boxing fight one time. He seen the guys sweating and stuff. He was like, I need to get in on this. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. Nah, keep it a buck. He was watching an AJ fight. That's why he like AJ.
I need to get in on this.
He has a very strong back.
How much? How much for AJ? He's like, you just can't buy him out.
At first he thought AJ was cheap, but they said, Your Excellency, he's worth about over 100 million. Oh,
easy. I did. So I can't buy him. You're gonna have your AJ over there doing the garden and the yard and everything, watering the plant
with his shirt off. But no, listen, right? Look, what I'm saying is, y'all are tripping, bro. Like, I hate people who act like they have facts that they're not privy to, and then sit there and talk like, yo, you don't know how someone's doing financially. But I was always told actions speak louder than words, right? So if you see 2 long-term rivals holding the hand of someone for some bailouts, then obviously their program and their company isn't doing as well as you think, because no one would let another man in their house and have them pay their bills if they didn't need it. So as I stated in the last episode, the elephant in the room is Turki Alalshikh. And I said, we're going to find out how bad boxing is doing, because if Golden Boy, Top Rank, and all these other promotional companies go to sign with Turki Alalshikh, then you know that boxing is in dire straits. Well, so far they've done it. What does it say about PBC that PBC hasn't signed with Turki Alalshikh yet? It means that either they want to keep control of their own company and they may be doing better than some of you think, or maybe it just means that PBC is the last holdout until they're going to have to do the inevitable. Because what happens when you're the last person to do it, like PBC, is if PBC can't make it on their own, by the time they want to go run the Turki Alalshikh to get signed, he's going to say, I'm just going to watch you bleed out. And then once you bleed out, I'm going to sign all your fighters. So PBC is in a very precarious situation right now where they need to make sure that they don't wait too long. Now, if they think they're going to survive, then they can hold out. But if they don't think they're going to survive, they're going to need to come to the table and make a deal too. Because if they wait until they're in a dire position where they're about to go out, Turkey's just going to watch them go out, and he's not going to bail them out with the money, because he's the only place their fighters can go. Whether they go to Golden Boy, whether they go to Top Rank, whatever promotional company they go to, it's like they're going to Turkey. But anyways, congrats to your running boxing. But for all y'all who act like this is a good thing, all good things come to an end.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Excuse me. I'm the commissioner, $1 bill. It's my brother Kaden. It's LLG for life. We the Boxing Bros.